Hello friends, today we shall discuss about user authentication in Django. And by default, Django already has the system to authenticate and authorize the users. And presently, if we go to our setting files, we are connected to a MySQL database as we have already configured in our previous video. And if I open the software DB viewer, and we can see our database is developer demo, which is already connected here. And just go to the tables, and you can see these are the default tables which are created after the migration has been done. Okay, now this table is related to user authentication because user data is saved here, and you can view table, and you can see that a user is already created, that is the admin user we have created in our previous video. And these are the tables which are used for user authorization. Okay. User authorization means after the user is authenticated, which part of the application he can use, which part of the application he can access, and this is determined by the different permissions, and the entire process is known as authorization. Whereas in authentication, we just check that the user is a valid person, he has the required credential to log into the system. So let us do some settings here so that we can log in into our test application which I have already created. We have created a test app here. In our previous video we have created a test app, and we also have this template folder where there is another folder which already have some templates here. And let us create a login view so that we can log in here. So let us create a login function, user underscore login request, and after this we can type a comment here, provides control for user login. So you can type a comment here. It is good thing to type comment in the functions. So we need to render our login page. The first parameter is a request, and then you need to type the name of the template which is being rendered. Just type user underscore login .html, and here you can type any context which you need to pass to the template, or in other words you can just type a empty dictionary here. Currently we are not passing any parameter to the template, so I am just typing a empty dic here. Okay, so let us create a page with this name. Just go to templates folder, then in the directory we test one underscore app, we shall create a new template user underscore login.html, and just we will create a simple template here, and we will not focus on designing, just create a simple template here. And so let me move the head in upper here. So this is the correct way, and in the body let us some simple HTML here. Let us I type some breaks here, and let me set a heading here. So this is the heading, login to continue, and just type a form here so that we can log in, and just type some input controls here. Let me fast forward the video to save your time. So I have put some lines here. Let me define a submit button. So button is equal to submit, type is submit, and so I have defined a button here, and let me define some parameters for form, and in action we don't need to give any URL. So method will be post, it will be post here, and have to define the encapsulation. In encapsulation we have to need to multi-part form data will be find here. Okay, so these are some parameters you need to define here. For input type will be text, and name will be username. The server will get the variable username which will be contain the username, and we will also pass the parameter password to the server, which will have the password of the user. Now server here is our Django web server, which we are using here. So let me save this file, and let me now define the URL for this view. Let me delete this, and let me define URL here. So we have we can define a URL like login, and we have created a function user underscore login, and name of the URL is login, and you can give any suitable name. Always give a meaningful name. Okay, and now we need to run our server. Let us run our Django server, and it will be run in a development mode. So just go to the login, and you can see that here are username and password. You can enter here. You can define some placeholder here, so it will be easier to detect where to enter the username and password. So I haven't focused on design, and so we are using very simple design. So we are not into designing HTML now, just we are checking the functionality of login, and here we can use our credential to login, but the functionality is not yet completed. We are taking only the get request. We need to define the post request also. So in that case, just type request dot method and equal to post. If we get the post record request, what shall we do? Then defined here. So we will at first will accept the user parameter. So we can accept the user parameter like that. This is the method to accept the username from post request. And similarly, you can access the password parameter like that. Just type request dot post dot get and password. Okay. So and we need to authenticate this. We need to check this username password. So we will import some functions here. Just type django.contrib and .auth. Here we will have some useful function. We will need authenticate function. We will also need login function. Okay. So just type here user and just use the authenticate function to authenticate. What this function will use, it will verify the whether the credential given by the user is correct. So just username equal to username, and these are the parameters which are accepted by this function. So this is the required parameters which you need to pass. First request, then you will need to pass the username. What is the username which has the same name username, then password, which here is password, and after that you need to check if it is authenticated. If it returns something, then user is authenticated, means the credentials are correct. So we need to define a condition if user is not none. Okay, if the output of this function is not none, this means credentials are being verified and it is correct. Just log in the user. You need to log in the user. Just use the function login. It accept two parameters request, then user. So you need to log in like that, and after you need to redirect somewhere, redirect to profile. We haven't created any profile view, so we will create our profile view. And in case our user is not authenticated, so what we will do, we will redirect to the login page again. Okay, so we need to import the function redirect, just import the function redirect, and also import another function django.urls reverse function. Also import the reverse function. Redirect function will redirect the user to another URL, and we will also use the reverse function to convert the name of the URL to the actual URL. So we will redirect to login. So our name of the URL is login. This is just name of the URL. Just put the name in here. So reverse function will automatically generate the correct URL, and redirect will redirect to that URL generated by the reverse function. So I think it is okay now, and we need to create a profile page so that when the user is successfully log. So we have completed our view user underscore login. So we have created a function which will be called when a request post method is done, and this will be run when a get method is called. So after a user is successfully logged in, it is important that we should log in. We should redirect him or her to a profile page. So let me create a profile view here. So we are creating a new view function, and it will display user profile. Let me create a very simple page. Just create a very simple page, return render and request, and we shall create a template here. User profile dot html, and currently we will not passing anything to context. So let me create a simple page here. Just we will go to our templates folder and create a new file here, and we shall import some. We shall let me import this code here and do some changes. Just we are copying this code in order to save time, and user underscore profile, and we are extending our base HTML, which I have already explained in my previous videos, and let us set a heading here, and let us greet our user with welcome. We will define the variable request dot user. So if the user is logged in, this variable will display the username. Okay, so this will be our profile page. It is a simple one. So let us also define the URL for our profile page. Just copy it and paste it here, and our function is let us select our function. Function is user profile, and let us type just profile here. Type profile here, and name of the URL is also profile, and you can also type some other name if you like. So now we need to redirect the user to profile page if it has successfully login. So use the just previous function which we have already used, and just define the reverse here, and reverse function will generate the correct URL. We are defining here just the name of our URL, and redirect will redirect the URL. Okay, so after the user is logged in, redirect it to the profile page. Okay, this is what this function is want to see. So let us now try to login. We shall try to login, and we have already created a admin user in our previous video, and just let me enter username password, see if it works. So you can see that there is a failure. It is talking about CSF underscore token is missing, so we haven't given this variable here. So let us define the variable here, csrf underscore token. So csrf is cross-site request forgery. So it is mainly used to prevent malicious use of the form actions. So this token will enhance the security, and it will be confirmed by the Django system that the only the valid user has given the request for the login. So in form submission, this is an essential requirement in case of Django. So you need to pass this variable always. In some cases you can also exempt it, but my recommendation is that you should always pass this csrf underscore token to enhance the security for the form functionality. So let us now refresh the page again, and let us log in again. Let us type our password, and you can see we are now in our profile page, and it is saying welcome admin. So you can see there is no logout. Now let us create a simple logout function. How you can create a logout function? So that's defined here user underscore logout, and just define request here, and just define a comment. It logouts the user, and how you should log out. You will need a logout function which is already there, and you need to log out. Just type the request parameter here, okay, and after the user has been logged out, what you will do, it will let us redirect it. Let us redirect it to the login page. Okay, just copy this line and redirect the user back to the login page. So what will happen when user log out? When the user log out, the user session uh, is destroyed by the Django. Okay, and so that user need to log in again. So we need to point our URL here. We need to define our URL here. Let us copy this, and let us define our views function, and let us type logout here, and let us type logout here also. So we are good to go, and just go to the profile page, and just place a link here, place a logout link here, and I am placing a link here, and I shall use the inbuilt template function. This is the function to define the URL correctly. So this function will correctly render the URL address. So this is the name of the URL logout. So just refresh the page, and you can see that logout here is logout, and just log out the user. You can see now we are in the login page. Okay, now if just go to profile page, and what you can see, you can also log in into the profile page, and even that the user is log out, now it is login as an anonymous user. So if you don't want this, you want to protect the profile page, so it is important that you should define some condition. Okay, let me define the condition here, that if the user is log in, only that the profile page should be display, otherwise not. So we are defining a function here. We are typing here, if request or user dot is underscore authenticated, if the user is authenticated, then only render the profile page, otherwise just ask user to log in. So we shall copy this line, we shall ask him to log in. So say what happened now. Okay, let us try to access the profile page again, and now you can see that we are not allowed to log in now, and you can log out again, and it is working fine now. And what we can see, we can also use a decorator. This is one of the way I have told you. There is also another way, we can also use a decorator, inbuilt decorator. Just type here django.contrib.auth.decorators. And what a decorator? Actually, decorator is a type of a Python function which can change the behavior of another function. So we are importing the decorator login underscore required, and we shall use here. Just type at the rate, and here just we will delete this line. We no need this now, and we shall rub this line and just correct the syntax. So here we are good to go. So login as required decorator will, this is the one of the professional way, so that this view is only displayed to the user if it is authenticated. Okay, just test it again. Now user is not authenticated, just so you shall try to log into profile page. You can see that it is redirecting to another account. It is redirecting to accounts login. Actually there are also some inbuilt authentication URLs which we shall discuss in our next video. For the time being, just go to settings file and tell Django what to do if the user is not authenticated. What to do? Just type login as URL here. Just type the name of the URL, that is login. So what Django will do? Django will just redirect it to the profile page, sorry, the login page, and it is working now. So we have, what we have done, we have defined a parameter login underscore URL. This parameter will tell the Django if the user is not authenticated, just redirect it to the login page. So in this video we have learned the simple way to log in the user and log out to access the profile page. In my next video I shall talk about the inbuilt auth URLs. If you like the video, like it and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.